Thank you all for staying. I know that many of you are the cast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your lovely work. Just for those who have not been at one of our talkbacks before, there's some rules which sound strange, but they work very well. And the main rule is that basically she can ask a question, but she cannot answer any questions from you. And she cannot answer a question. She just can't answer questions. And the reason for this is so that we get what the audience, or in this case the cast, have to say about it. And she doesn't have to be on the defensive. She doesn't have to explain anything. The only thing we need to know is what did you find out about, what did you feel about this play? And I'm going to ask some specific questions. And then any questions that you have, you should ask, and she will address them in one way or another in the next revision. Okay, and that's the answer to your question, in one way or another. So just to get started, my first question is, what did you like about this play? What did you find compelling? What did you enjoy?
Well, I like having that central character be Kitty, and then her being used as a way through which we could really find out so much more about the world in which she lived. So it wasn't just her, it wasn't just the Jack the Ripper story, it was her as a full-rounded person, and through her, what we learned else about the times.
Okay, so like the whole, we like having.
Well, I'd like to put, it just wasn't Jane Doe, it was a very specific person, which we associate very specific things to, but then it was like, oh, so we're going to go here and there and there.
Okay, yeah.
And sort of related to that, the play itself isn't particularly concerned with the actual Ripper case. Like, we don't try to solve the Ripper case within the play. I also like that because most media about Jack the Ripper is really about all of the theories surrounding, the identity. And this isn't.
Good. Yeah.
I was intrigued by the idea of using the Church of Latter-day Saints, and I know that's not the whole title, but it's too long, to use that as a window into Victorian sex trade / Jack the Ripper. If you're writing a play about this topic, let's put the Mormons in there and they'll address it. So I think it's just a very novel and intriguing and interesting way to approach the subject matter.
Well, I also felt that the Mormon sort of entryway gave a lot of levity to it. There was humor there, which I liked, and I liked those two worlds clashing, and also these very particular, which is also revealed in the play as hypocritical approach to earthly life and morality, and also women coming through those two characters, and both characters I really liked a lot.
You like both characters?
Yes.
What do you mean when you say liked?
I liked that they were fully fleshed out.
Okay.
They were. I had a good grasp of them, of both, of the what was his name, Brother Sir and Miss Anderson, and there were some very topical questions slipped in there too, and. No, obviously there's nothing to like about him, but but he was a fully fleshed character, and I got him, and there are people like that.
That's great. Yeah.
I like the contrast between Anderson, who's lived her life as a virgin, and Kitty, who is the other extreme, and Anderson's incredible interest in the way that Kitty lived her life, because it's obviously such a foreign life to her.
What they all said, but the other thing I liked was the use of bodies in the background, going up and going down. The whole use of
so like the theatricality.
The theatricality.
Of the concept.
Yes.
There's a production concept that really has in here already. Yeah.
Also like how. I use as an example the last day of her life, how you have an actress who can play the woman who, you know, tells her the rumor about her daughter, and then have the same actress be the daughter, and have all these ironies of, you know, these connections that all led to her fate, sort of. I think that's the most effective thing in the play, is that you can sort of tell this story in a really interesting way that is unexpected by using these actors in this way to, you know, to weave it together in a way. It's interesting.
I like the compassion with which the character of Kitty is drawn, and her own survivorship in a way. So it's an interesting combination.
Survivorship. I want to go on then, I have to write that down, that's great. To anything in the play that still confuses you, yeah.
The whole Mormon thing takes a very long time to get. I want to have it right away, whether it involves characters that have to have it explained to them in simplistic terms, like me and the audience, myself and the audience. I need that pretty quickly so that I can see the import of what follows. And I don't kind of get the whole sealed thing until about, I don't really get the import of that until about, I don't know, halfway through or something like that. I don't get the implications of it. I need that right up front.
Anybody, yeah.
I'm the opposite. I like confusion. I don't want to be told everything in the beginning. I don't like to be spoon-fed everything. So I actually like it that there's stuff that I need to figure out myself over time. I got less confused, but I felt my attention really going when the debates, not so much between the two Mormons, but they drew on a bit long. But in the latter third of the play, I just got really less and less interested in all the details of the clothing and the bad marriages and all. I mean, I got it. Tom Conway's a dick, and thing with the children didn't work out, and it just became very drawn out of more of the same. So I was not so much confused, but there was like the last third until it gets to the end was just, there was stalling. Nothing, there was no new theatrical information there.
Okay. This is basically after the interval, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I think the interval doesn't need it. If you tighten it up, it can just really slide to the end quicker.
Did other people find similarly that you lost your attention in that place, or were there other places where you found yourself, you know, yeah?
I lost my attention because I needed a bathroom break, so I really needed to have.
That's the point of the interval, actually.
Yeah, have a 10-minute break or a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is not just about there, but other places. There's a lot of information that's given visually in this play, and we're doing a reading without any of this. So, I mean, I don't know that this handles the problem, but to actually have people up and actually seeing the clothes go on her and actually seeing all that and seeing all the images projected, I don't know if that's going. Maybe that'll all of a sudden those problems go away, and we're like leaning in all of a sudden, or maybe not. But it's hard to judge from the reading.
So, and that's one particular instance when they're taking out the evidence and dressing her in it at the same time.
Well, you've got the stuff she had on her, and you've got the clothes that you're putting on her. Yeah.
It's almost like two beats that are repeated, because there's all the objects that she had with her, but then there's also all these layers of clothes, which I don't really know, other than the ones that seem interesting or important, like how she uses rags and that kind of thing. But the amount of skirts that she has on, I don't really know that we need all that.
Well, it seems like the knife is important because and sets up the
Right.
pigeons later, but the
Yeah.
petticoat.
Okay,
So the question though is, was there a place that you were confused? Not,
and also,
Well,
right, we're not,
it-
not
Sorry.
this specific.
right, and we are also, I just wondered if there was, if the really the loss of attention that
Yeah.
you are talking about is basically confined to the last third, or was there any other place?
I agree
just asking.
with also what the person said about it takes a very long time to get to
Okay.
Kitty's story. I would also say that that beginning part is also a little meandering,
Okay,
because it
That's
goes into like more about like taking on the Mormon church
Yes.
than just the heaven stuff.
okay, good.
I just
Okay.
disagree. I thought the ending to me, I thought we got a lot of information very economically, and, you know, in the characters. And so anyway, I thought.
You're talking
I
about
liked
the beginning, right?
Very much.
Talk about the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
And some, you know, I think that can be. All right, so is there, I'm sorry, did you? No, okay. So, do you have any questions yourself? Did the ending work for you? Did the ending work for you? What did you feel about the ending? What happened to Kitty? What happened with Anderson? Did that work for you? The choices that were made? Yeah.
Well, I liked that Kitty got to go off with her Jack, to be sealed with her Jack. Again, in a reading, I don't know how clear it is how that happened, but, and I definitely liked that Anderson chose that same place for herself.
Did it surprise you that she made that kind of choice, or that she just decided to go?
Katrina has something.
Yeah.
Didn't see it coming, but I liked the ending. And I liked that she made a clear choice, and I think it could be punctuated a little more clear, because it's sort of slid in, and she is the second protagonist in a way, next to Kitty.
Yeah.
But I did like that. So
Good.
I think it's also interesting that because they're so opposite, you have the one who's an 80-year-old virgin and the other one who's, you know, is a streetwalker at times, that you want to end up in the same place as her. That somehow she may, and I mean, I also want to mention, because you consider Mormons very judgmental when it comes to these issues of morality and ethics and whatnot. So the fact that they're entertaining the idea of saving Jack the Ripper is humorous, but I think it's also interesting that Anderson is trying to be sit in judgment, but she ends up judging herself equal with Kitty because she sends them both to the same place. And I think that's a very interesting tie-up at the end.
And also, it really kind of makes the reason for Anderson to have been that person in that job, because if she wasn't there, Kitty wouldn't get this, you know,
Right.
this wouldn't be her result. So it's a nice way to tie the two of them together, sort of in the way of fate again.
They're sealed with each other in this sense, which is
In a way, by
In a
doing
way.
that act, she links herself to her, so that's nice.
We're having a post-performance discussion. This is what this is about, which is really great, okay? The ideas that it brings up, okay?
I like that.
Those are actually, do you have any other questions?
I hope it's okay to ask this, but there was so much confusion about which actor was playing which part. And I think, Melody, you said something about calling them the ensemble and just letting it work out. And do you think that's the way to go? Or, I mean, would anybody have that?
I edited the stage directions a lot because in the script, the 3 male actors are assigned a name: the stranger, Tom, and Jack. And so in the stage directions, it was Jack enters and becomes Kit or whatever.
Right.
And that's really more instructions for the actors and director when you're staging it. But I do think the script started with only 2 men and 1 woman. And in the revision, I really felt they needed 3 guys. And because it was so confusing, because they were literally like going off stage and turning around and coming back on. And my question, when I was watching it, because we did all those provisions and rehearsed, but we didn't really hear it all the way through without stopping, so that was a first for me too. So that's my question, is there still too few actor bodies on stage to pull it off?
No, because the moment you have anything visual going on with a cap or with a scarf or with something, that's remedied. I mean, I wouldn't do it with fewer people.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to.
But no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree, because having done the first reading, it was super confusing as to who was what and how did it happen. But part of it is with the adjustment of the stage directions, and you can hear the way that it would happen, because it would be, I would assume it would be part of the concept of the director that, certain things are indicative of who he is playing at this point, and that there would be some possible stylization that would clear up any confusion.
Change of physicality, anything, accent.
That's good to know.
And with the doubling and all, I do think that the choice to have Jack and Tom be different actors really does help, because visually, the same actor, even with a different costume piece, which is the way we did it last time, you're watching the same man be both evil and wonderful to her. And I love the idea that Kitty has so much in her head of, no, not with Tom, steal me with Jack. And we need to visually see two people, different faces.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're right, though, that as far as what you call them, the audience never hears those stage directions, so it's not really that important, I don't think.
We see.
It can only be a simple matter of like the note saying, we suggest this doubling, and then just naming the characters as they go, the way a normal script would.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.